Hey all, Melly Mel here from Sincerely Creative Mom. We're going to make a super easy summertime wreath today. We're using a 14-inch frame from the Dollar Tree. And all I'm going to do is take my pipe cleaners and attach 12 of them to give us twist ties. We need 12 twist ties. What I'm doing is adding them right around the brackets. So on this frame we have 1, 2, 3, 4 rings. Don't mind my half painted nails here. 4 rings, and we have 6 brackets. So I'm taking the first 2 rings, going right around the brackets, and adding a pipe cleaner. And then we'll go around the outside 2 rings and add a pipe cleaner right between. So we're just going to eyeball it. We're not going to measure it, just going to eyeball it, go right between. I will put all of the links of the stuff that we're using today, all the supplies, will be in the description of this video. So making your own frame only takes a couple of seconds. It's quite easy, goes fast. We'll be using Deco mesh today. I've already cut them in 25-inch pieces. So I have this nice bright green. I'm pulling out the green from our sign, and then I also went with a ribbon that would match that fairly well also. Nice florals to match the florals in the back of the sign, and of course a nice fun pineapple ribbon for the top. So we're going to pull out the green from the sign, and I'm going to put it towards me. I'm just going to do a little curl here, just a little curl on the end. And then I'm gonna ruffle. I'm gonna ruffle up the inside and then curl the other end. So essentially, I'm just curling those ends to help the end of that mesh stay concealed. And I use green on the pipe cleaners because our ribbon that we're using on the top is green. It'll help conceal that as well. Here, let me just show you what I'm doing here. So I'm going to just curl this end, curl. Again, that'll keep that end that's cut on the inside. I'll keep it concealed. I'll camouflage it a little bit. And then come all the way up here. And do the same thing on the other end. Just curl it in. Curl it in, curl it in. Just like that. Put it down in there nice and tight. Make sure it's nice and secure before going on to the next one. When I put this in there, I'm making sure this part right here touches and is snuggled in with the pipe cleaner. I don't want it to be just kind of, I don't want it to be hanging out there. I want it to be nice and snuggled. I want them to kind of marry and become one. Trying to stay right up the center as much as possible. This is a very simple mesh that we're working for. It's a very good product. However, it doesn't have a lot of coverage. So if you're looking at it right now, you're going, well, there's there's a lot of that wire frame I can still see there. I wonder how she's going to pull that off with just 12 twist ties. And we're going to work it with our ribbon. But the number one rule as a wreath maker, especially when you're using a wire base, is hiding that wire base. It's not part of your design. You don't want to see it. You want to do your best to cover it up on purpose. So again, the mesh was cut 25 inches long. Our ribbons are, they're both wired. We have a 2.5 inch and a 1.5 inch. I just put my favorite on the top, which by the way, doesn't always happen to be the 1.5 inch. Sometimes it's the 2.5 inch, and if that was the case, I'd put that right on the top. In this case, it is the pineapple, the 1.5 inch. So 14 inch, I find the center and pinch. Make them kind of out facing towards me. And twist, 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 twist. And then I'm going to cut off that excess because I don't need it. And I'm going to hide, I'm right-handed, I'm going to hide that little piece here on the right side. I'm sorry, on the left side. And then pull my ribbons apart and spread them apart. And I'm going to do that all the way around. So in this design particularly, I want to make sure I see all of those ribbons coming out towards me. So if I did an X in this particular style, if I made them look like an X, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in just a minute here, once I have the whole design complete, I would miss out on part of that ribbon. So what I want to do is make sure it all comes out facing towards me. So in other words, I wouldn't do this so that these can go inside. In this design, I want everything to come out towards me. And I want you to be able to see every single one of those ribbons. And I want it to be a pattern. So here you see floral, pineapple, floral, pineapple, floral, pineapple, floral, pineapple. I'll do that all the way around so that it's real easy to the eye. Make sure that is as little as possible. That way when you put it in there, it has one little tiny spot to gather, and then when you pull it apart, it allows the ribbon to kind of free away from each other and allows it to have a nice range of motion there. Spread it apart. Nice bright colors for summer. Again, the links to all the materials we're using can be found in the description. If you're watching us on YouTube, it can be found in the description of the video. If you haven't already yet, you're enjoying this video, please be sure to subscribe to our page, our channel. I play the most on Facebook, so if you're looking for me separately, you can find me on Facebook as well, under Sincerely Creative Mom. I'm most known for two things. One, I made the pancake style wreath, which is a thin, like not deep, but thin style design that is meant to fit between your main door and your storm door. And I'm also a coach inside a creative coaching group where we teach you step by step, just like this, but in all sorts of different designs. Christmas trees, garlands, big wreaths, little wreaths, swags, centerpieces, all sorts of stuff. Wedding bouquets, we have boutonnieres in there, all sort of things. Okay, we're going to move on to the inside, and we're going to do the exact same thing, except for what we're going to do in this next step. I'm going to kind of push this down with the mesh that goes here. I'm going to push this down, kind of naturally covering that pipe cleaner that goes there. So we're going to do that. Same thing we did on the outside, we're going to do on the inside. Kind of come in this way and fill it in just like that. So I don't want to flatten anything. I just want to make it kind of naturally sit where it's going to go. Again, your job as a wreath maker, even if it's for your own door, is to cover that wire frame. And whatever ends up in the center is going to end up underneath that sign. So you want the most of your stuff to be sticking out towards you like a sunburst. Just try my hardest to make sure that stays as much in the center as possible. And then I'm going to kind of move this off to the side this way and move this down. Kind of all at the same time. You do want to be gentle with the material because again it does fray, so the least amount of times you touch it and play with it, the better. Last one. Now I did cut this mesh with a rotary cutter on my self-healing mat. You can cut it with the scissors. Again, it's about 25 inches long for the mesh and 14 inches for the ribbon. Still might look like a mess. We're going to fill it in right now. Now, I just want to see something before we go forward and take off that pipe cleaner. I just want to see something. I want to humor myself. So let me humor you as well. I have these You may have heard with them these 60919 greenery pieces. They're beautiful. They're lovely. They are made with everything you can think of, and they have all the fun. I just want to see what this kind of looks like. It's hard to imagine it with the pieces not all together. And so I figured I would wait till I had it kind of mostly together before I made my decision. That is a yes. We are going for a yes. All right, I'm going to use that pipe cleaner and snuggle this right down in there, kind of pretty far in. You could, if you wanted to, use glue. Absolutely. We're just going to use these pipe cleaners. And I'm going to cut them off. So you could use your glue gun. And give it a nice dab of glue right down in there. If your glue gun was on, you could do that. We'll come around to it. All right, I like that it doesn't stick out too far around the edge. It just sticks out enough. So we are definitely going to add those in. We'll add all of our ribbon first, and then we'll come back. Keeping that pattern going, just like we did for the bottom. Floral, pineapple, floral, pineapple. Again, every time you put it in there, make sure it's pretty tight, because you can, trust yourself and your ribbon. When you want to pull it apart, make sure it goes where you want it to go. Don't forget, anything that goes into the center is going to end up being covered by our sign. So we don't want to cover anything in any of our ribbons up. The ribbon that goes in the center kind of gets a little wild. It kind of takes on my life of its own. And that's totally okay. It's meant to be wild. Okay, so we're only going to add in those florals around the inside 6 pieces. Just going to twine that all together. And give our whole thing here a little life. And I'm going to put it in the pipe cleaner right up about here It's going to give me a good length on the outside. Keeping a fairly good eye on my sight line. There we go. And then the ends of the 60919 have these wild pieces, but because this design is not fragile, but you'll be able to see anything that's different, I'm going to go ahead and take that off of there. I'm just going to glue them all at one time. How about that? I'm going to use 2 of those bushes. Clip that piece right off. I'm not going to tear it off because then that would compromise this whole stem back here. This little stem makes a world of wonders. It makes it look like you've done so much work when in reality you have not. Just winding that together to make sure it stays together. So again, all the SKU numbers to all the pieces that we're using, all the supplies you can find in the description of this video. No one has to know that you just put those cutie pies in all at once. Nice and tight. That'll be what holds it together, and then your glue right where that pipe cleaner is will be just an added extra. So you want that pipe cleaner to be super tight and you want the glue to be just the second layer of security, not the layer of security. Nice glob of glue right underneath it. So one's going in between the stem and the pipe cleaner. There we go. Okay, looks wild and crazy. We're going to take our sign. Look at how easy that was. We take our sign and put it right in the center. So we're going to add a pipe cleaner to each of these. I added zip tie mounts, and I added a little bit of glue to those. And I'm just going to add a pipe cleaner, slide it in so that I have a long stem to slide through, and then we'll just attach these 4 pipe cleaners right through the mesh and to the wire frame. You can't put a staple through the sign because it's pretty thin. Be a pineapple, stand tall, wear a crown, and be sweet on the inside. I hope you all enjoyed watching. We are going to attempt to add a bow to this, although I don't really know if it needs it. But the first thing we're going to do is get this nice snuggled down in there. Bringing out all of our stuff so we can see all that stuff we paid for. Bring it all out, all of it. Make sure it all looks good. And then once it's in there, we can adjust a little bit more. Okay, I'm going to take those pipe cleaners and go straight through where we are. Straight through the mesh, right to the wire frame. If you haven't already, I would love for you to join our text message list. We send messages when we go live or when we have a new video, such as this, available. I try real hard to not text you every day. Sometimes, like I think as of right now, it's been over a week before I've texted someone. It's been a while. Okay, right around that frame, and then I'm going to go right up to the top. And then once I have our top secured in, we can wiggle a little bit. Now you probably only needed 2 pipe cleaners to attach, to hold it, just in case sometimes, especially with a sign so big. I like to add on all 4. Just add that in. And then I honestly don't think we're going to add a sign. A bow. I'm looking at places where I could add a bow and it doesn't. Usually I do it in the corner or in the very bottom. I don't have any room anywhere. We'll do one little bow and see how that works out. First we're going to make sure all of our ribbon is coming out to the end from the outside. Make sure all of our ribbon is doing its job everywhere it needs to be. I honestly, I don't think we're going to add one, but if I did, there isn't even really any room, but if I did, I would add one right down here at the bottom. Nice big loop. Pinch, twist, loop. Pinch, twist, loop. Hold on to that for a second with my clamp here. Yeah, we'll just add that down there. Pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop, pinch, twist, loop. So we'll do one loop on the big ribbon and we'll do 2 loops on the little pineapple ribbon and it will be adorable. Making sure that center stays real little. Take this off and add it to it. And then same thing, one long pipe cleaner so that I can slide it right through there to make it a little easy for us. Nice and tight. Dovetail the ends. Give them a little character. And then I'm going to pull those down to one end. Pull those ribbon tails down to one end. Lift our center loop up so that it hides our pipe cleaner. So far, so good. Adorable. Super cute. I'm going to run it right up there. We'll pull it in just a second. So again, I am Melly Mel, or some people call me Coach Mel, from Sincerely Creative Mom. I appreciate you watching us. Today we used a 14-inch frame We attached 12 twist ties. We attached mesh, 10-inch mesh. We cut it 25 inches long. We did a little curl and a ruffle and a curl on each end. We added our ribbon 14 inches long on each. We added bits and pieces of a fun and very popular greenery stem here all throughout. And then we just added a nice little sweet bow to top it all off. And we have ourselves a very fun, easy, quick summertime wreath with a big pop of color for your front door. Y'all, thank you very, very much for watching. If you haven't already subscribed to our page, please do so. Again, the links to all the stuff that we used here will be able to be found in the description. If you haven't already texted me to get on our text message list, it's 810-498-2310. We'd love to have you. Anything that's coming up, any classes, anytime I'm live, anything that we need you to know, we will definitely reach out and give you a text. If you have any questions, you can leave them here right in the comments. Until next time, thanks for watching.